controversial, but there are more women that are losers out there than men. Women always have a checklist. You have to be this tall, you have to make this much money, you have to go to the gym, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. Men have one thing. Please be nice and treat me with respect. Women cannot do it. Women want so many things from their men nowadays, but they have nothing to give that man. Not even respect, not even dignity, not even peace, not even comfort, nothing. They just want that man to provide them a princess lifestyle, but don't want to give him anything in return. Don't want to make his life any easier. That is why so many men have given up on dating, because women are not worth it.
I don't understand men who shame other men who choose not to holler at women anymore, or men who are just afraid to holler at women, because some of us men have always been rejected. Some of us men have always received nothing but rejection. So why the fuck would we waste our time trying to holler at these females when it's clear that they don't want our asses? Why the would I waste my time trying to holler at these females when they make it obvious that I'm an unbearable, obnoxious? I don't understand why men try to shame other men who choose not to holler at females when some of us men are just ugly. And the first thing females judge off of is looks. Forget about the personality and all this other they try to say, oh, it's about the way you dress. No, it's about your face. And if they're not with your face, they're not going to be with you. I'm just a goofy to them. I'm an uncertified bum. That's what I am to these women. I'm an uncertified pile of
A lot of these modern women continue to bump their gums about wanting a provider. I want a man to provide. I don't need one, but I want one. Whatever. I'm not doing it for you. If you're not reciprocating, then I'm not going to give anything to you.
The way to handle boundaries as a man, you don't sit there and beg her to listen to you. You see her own choices and you decide if it is an appropriate selection for you to be with this woman. You don't force her to change. You allow her to live how she wants to live, and then you let her know what you prefer and give her time. If she decides this is not how she wants to live, instead of being like, we got to do this, you got to listen to me, I'm the man, you just say, okay, fair enough, I totally want you to live the life you want, but it's not compatible with the values and boundaries I have. Instead, what they do is they stay there, get really controlling, really aggressive. You don't want to teach anybody that you have no willingness to walk away. Instead, what you want to teach them is the relationship means something to you. You want to protect this relationship through boundaries, and you want them to meet you in the middle with that. If they do that, fantastic. If they choose not to, the goal is not to be with you. The goal is to have a good relationship. If you don't want this, no worries. I wish you the best. The toxicity comes from the inability to walk away.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Dating multiple men is the feminine standard. Men date multiple women all the time. Nobody calls it wrong or nobody calls it sneaky. Nobody says they're playing game. They call it dating. The moment the woman does the same, she's suddenly confusing, sending mixed signal, or playing hard to get. Here's the truth that most women are never taught. A high-value woman does not date for attention. She dates for alignment. She isn't trying to impress a man. She's watching who shows up with leadership, consistency, and direction. When you date like a woman who's choosing her future husband, not hoping that you become someone's girlfriend, everything changes. Because dating multiple men isn't about playing games or juggling. It's about discernment. It's how you stop wasting time on inconsistent men that were never going to commit anyway. And that's meant for you, meant for your soul, is not going to be threatened by your option. You'll rise above them, because masculine men who are ready for marriage do not fear competition. They'll eliminate it with clarity. If you're ready to date like a woman who chooses her forever and not waiting to be chosen, comment forever and I'll send you the next steps.
If single men aren't showing up to your events, if not even the desperate guys are showing up to your events, then maybe it's time to start asking questions about why men don't want to be around modern women. What are we doing that's making a man not want to be around us?
Men do not like women that behave like men. Okay? Your job, your career, your title, your nice apartment in a ritzy area of a big city, we don't find that attractive. You know what's funny with women? Let's switch it around. Hey, ladies, let's say you dated a guy, right, that took longer to get dressed than you did, got his nails done every Sunday, spent more time getting dressed than all this other, put way more time into his looks. Maybe at first you'd be like, this guy's really handsome, but it would get really annoying, wouldn't it? Having to always compete with this guy, having to always like be like, what this nigga, like, what? Why does he act like a girl? This is weird. He has a bigger wallet collection than you have a purse collection. At some point, you would get annoyed with this. Rightfully so. Why? Because he's acting like a woman. Oh, sound familiar? That's how we feel when you flex your career. It doesn't benefit us. Your career doesn't benefit us. Just like a super handsome metrosexual man does not benefit you. It's that simple. But you guys expect us to date you when you act like a man. And no one wants to tell women this. You went to an Ivy League school, but you're still a You don't understand that men and women are different, and we're attracted to different things.
The longer these modern women continue to, well, really, honestly and truly, the more you as a modern woman continue to try to do weird stuff, act crazy, talk crazy, is the less chance that you actually have a man, because you're a terrible person.
If I wanted to take you out, we would have already been at Nobu by now.
And that's facts. If a man is genuinely interested in you, he's going to ask you out on a date. He's going to want to plan something. He's going to want to see you. These men who want to talk to you for weeks, want to talk to you for months, never asked you out, never made any plans to see you in person, they're just wasting your time. I wouldn't let a man who is too cheap or stingy to actually plan a date and take me out get that much of my time. Yeah, I understand that you want to get to know somebody. I get that. But how are we talking for 2 or 3 months and you haven't thought that you wanted to see me in person yet? No, men like this are trying to be cheap. They want to get as much as they can from you without investing any time or any money. Men invest in what they're interested in and invest in what they want. I don't care if it's their car. I don't care if it's their sneaker collection. I don't care what it is. If he is interested in you, he will invest in you. And if that's taking you out to dinner, that's what he's going to do. But if you let this man continue to waste your time without putting any time, money, or energy in, that's exactly what he's going to do.
What would this season be called for you?
It's given married. What does married mean?
Yeah.
Married mean, now y'all got a chance no more. I'm out the game.
You out the game. You right. What do you think you lose when you commit to a woman?
Options.
Okay, that's fair. You think we gonna be married till the part?
Yep.
Period.
Because I ain't had a kid.
You see how straight faced he just said that? Women are so inappropriate with their energy and their bodies. Ladies, stop hugging men that are married chest to chest. It's inappropriate. For what reason do you need to hug somebody's husband chest to chest? But do you believe me if I said you fell into my trap?
Yeah, I believe you.
I love you. I just want you to know that.
A lot of these men know that a woman will get online and say, I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. But then be having him in the other room while hollering and screaming all this stuff, he paying the bills, but then still be online getting validation and attention from other dudes in her DMs.
A lot of women would rather go for the guy that speaks perfectly rather than the guy that gets nervous and stutters and he's a bad first dater. But guys who are the bad first daters turn out to be the greatest life partners, and let me tell you why. I will tell you why. A man who is extremely perfect with what he says and he makes you feel top tier, he's talking to other women the same way. He's making other women feel the same way. That's why he's so good at it. What I'm trying to say is go for the guy who's less experienced. Because trust me, he will not leave you easily. But the guys who have been with many girls will leave you in a heartbeat because he thinks that he has other options. They're less forgiving. To work with me, one-on-one, it'll be in my bio.
My husband doesn't buy me flowers anymore. My boyfriend isn't taking me on nice dates. I wish my man did half the things that your man did for you. If this is a conversation that you are having with friends, which I've had plenty of these conversations, people coming to me saying these things, then listen up. And know this conversation has nothing to do with how to get your man to do these things. I need you to do me a favor and draw a circle around yourself and work on everything inside of that circle. Is your man in that circle? No, just you. When was the last time that you did something nice for him? When was the last time you cooked him his favorite meal or baked him his favorite treats, wrote him a sweet little note, picked up something at the store that you thought that he would like? When was the last time that you inconvenienced yourself for him? Him buying you flowers, cooking you dinner, taking you on a nice date, those are all him inconveniencing himself for you. Have you even shown your gratitude to him? Have you ever been, said thank you or been appreciative of the things that he's done for you? The best piece of advice that I ever received was to outdo your spouse or significant other in love. It's easy for us women to think that we should constantly be pursued, but once you are in a partnership, it is a two-way street.
I think men are starting to really understand that the gap between what I'm doing and the effort that I'm putting out is a lot wider than I thought it was. There's a huge disparity between what I'm doing and what you're doing. And what you're doing is next to nothing. Why would I be involved in that?
With my girl, and I want y'all to just notice something. There's women, all eating there. Women, all eating there. And let's not forget right there too, because they're everywhere. Oh my god. I don't normally go out, but when I do, I go out with my girls, and I am seeing something, a trend. Girls are all going out with their girlfriends. There's not like one date in it.
Yeah, I don't think that trend's going to be going away anytime soon. But I think it works though. You know, men get to keep their money. They get to work on what they want to do and do what they want to do. And I mean, women can go and spend all their money, get all this debt, you know, on their nails. You can tell she's got her nails done. She's probably got the expensive makeup, you know, going out for dinner every night. At least she's got to foot the bill. And also the men won't have to deal with her debt down the road. So win-win, I think. Anyway, I don't think this particular lady really cares what's happening in the dating market. I think she just wants somebody to pay for her dates, and no one's doing it, and so she makes this video. How typical of women. Okay, let's go to the next one.
You know, what's funny is that a lot of these modern women, they talk about equality and stuff like that, but then they don't. It's not that you don't have a voice, it's that you don't pull your weight and you want equal say. You actually want more say. You actually want majority say with like not even like minority contribution.
I'm starting to feel like the man is really the prize. I don't know why.
Hey, girl, now.
Yes. I'm starting to feel like men are really the prize because literally as a woman, we have to wait on the man for everything. We have to wait on the man. We have to wait on the man. We can date whoever we want, but we can't marry who we want.
One of them says,
stepping into the marriage, you have to wait for the man to ask you to marry him. You have to wait for the man to ask you to be his girlfriend. You have to wait for the man to ask you out on a date. All these kind of things we're waiting on a man to do. Like literally.
How about you have multiple? So you're not waiting on nobody.
I never did, because most women, they're dating a lot of guys. Yeah, but they have that one guy that they want who don't want them. They're dating all these other guys on the side because they're trying to distract themselves. But realistically speaking, they want that one guy who was taking forever to claim them.
That's not how it is.
Yes, I've always felt women were the prize.
You should know that you are the prize.
I've always felt that way. Don't get it twisted. But if you think about it, I'm just trying to be more realistic, be more open-minded in my thinking. That's the reason why I'm saying that. If you're gonna ask the man to marry you, by all means do so. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like waiting for a man to like ask us to be like exclusive. That's what I'm talking about.
A lot of these modern women, they get mad. It really, honestly and truly, it's all about them. They like to weaponize therapy against you. Oh, he forgot to ask me about my meeting. He's emotionally abusive. He's emotionally abusive. It's stupid. It's stupid stuff. But when a man has something that's actually legit going on, you're being a baby. I don't care. I don't care to listen to that.
Men should always lead and women should always navigate. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. Let me explain why. It's not about one being more powerful than the other. It's about different roles that complement each other. When a man leads, it doesn't mean he controls. It means he takes responsibility. He makes decisions with love, vision, and with the weight of protecting the family. And when a woman navigates, that means that she brings her intuition, her discernment, and her ability to see things that he may miss. This is just a daily reminder to women to stop trying to play both roles. You're doing a disjustice to yourself and your man. And if you are dating, stop allowing him to get away with just doing the bare minimum. If he doesn't want to protect, lead with love, and be a provider, then you should be walking the opposite way. Because even in the Bible, it says, men are called to lead like Christ loved the church. That means with sacrifice and no ego. Lead with love and navigate with wisdom. That's how you build a foundation that will never crumble.
A lot of these modern women are filtering out men on dating apps and really honestly and truly in life for being, 5'9", even 5'11". Oh, he ain't 6 foot. He ain't over 6. 6 foot is the bare minimum, right? But you want a man that's 6 foot or over 6 foot who treats you like trash. That doesn't make any sense. And it takes you forever to understand, dang, I probably should leave this guy alone and go with the guy who's 5'9". Well, it might be too late at that point in time.
It doesn't make you a narcissist. I actually think it's wonderful when women buy flowers for themselves. If you really feel like you want them, whether you're single or in a relationship, you see some pretty flowers you like, you buy them. I feel like this is why a lot of resentment builds up when you're in a relationship. Because he cannot read your mind. You're probably thinking, oh, he hasn't got me flowers, I really want flowers. And I mean, of course you could also ask him, but if you're at the store getting groceries and you see something you like, and this is not about rubbing it in his face or putting him down. This is about genuinely making yourself happy. If you like the look of them, you like the smell, you just like having flowers. I'm like that personally. For a lot of people, it's about self-care. Some women like bubble baths with, you know, the bath bombs and salts and such. Other ladies want a bouquet of flowers. And I feel like we put too much pressure on men to fulfill all these requirements all the time. And we forget we can also do those things for ourselves when we need it. And then it kind of relieves that pressure from him. And I mean, I'm assuming you might be single, that's why you got them, but that's just valid in that case as well. They can make your room or your home look beautiful and make you happy. And you should do that.
Here are some controversial rules in my relationship. Number 1, I do what I want to do and he does what I tell him to do. Basically, during my time on this earth, I have learned that men are literally stupid, like basically brain. So it's just better and safer for everyone if I make the decisions and he obeys. Number 2, I make it very clear that he's in a never-ending probationary period. I find that fear and intimidation are really great ways to get somebody to fall into line. So basically, I just keep him in a never-ending state of anxiety and uncertainty because he knows that if he has one tiny slip-up, then I'm out the door. So that just helps to keep him on his best behavior. Number 3, he handles all of the household chores and I don't do any of them. This is because he should be deriving all of his happiness from serving me. So cleaning, doing my laundry, those things make him genuinely happy because he's making my life easier. However, for me personally, I get my happiness from going out with friends, going shopping, so those are the things I spend my time doing. Number 4, his money is my money and my money is my money. This one kind of ties into the last one because I genuinely don't understand why a man would need money other than to spend it on his wife or partner, so that one's kind of like common sense. I've been with my fiance for 7 years and we're getting married next year, so hopefully those rules can help you if you're having trouble finding a healthy relationship.
I think when modern women realize that your words actually mean something, the way you treat men, what you say actually means something. And so when you expect a man to show up in certain places and he doesn't, you might need to start thinking, well, shoot, maybe I said X, Y, and Z about somebody. That's why they're not here. It's crazy to me that a lot of modern women understand when a man offends them, he's supposed to just automatically know. When they offend a man, it's just like, well, you know, forget about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I said something crazy, but it shouldn't matter.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Rose, and let me know if you agree with me on this. A lot of Australian women now ask, why don't men approach us? Well, honestly, it's because we told them not to. We said it was creepy. We embarrassed them. We rejected them, treated them like they were disposable. Men are too scared nowadays for those reasons. And now we're acting confused. Why don't men want long-term relationships? Same answer. Because we pushed them away. We raised the bar higher and higher. Money, status, looks, lifestyle. We basically told them to step up or piss off while offering them far less in return. We expected effort, attention, money, but didn't always match it with respect and appreciation. So men adapted. They stopped approaching. They stopped chasing. Some of them have just checked out of relationships with Australian women altogether. You can't tell men to leave you alone and then be surprised when they actually do.
If it's a feeling question, how do you feel about? And you really want to know how they feel about it. I understand how you think about this, honey. How do you feel about it? that is so far down in the bottom of the well. You can get back to me in the next week or so if you need to. It might take that long for him to drill down that far. And so we've got to commit to it first. We've got to be willing to wait for how long it takes them to commit and go get that information for us. They tend to not talk off the top of their head. If they are talking off the top of their head, it's a neural pathway, and you're going to hear the same thing over and over again. It's not purposeful. It's not conscious. And then listen and appreciate. And what happens is you can't just listen. This is what our course called Lux focuses on a lot, because you might have noticed I keep going like this. We have questions at the top of my head. Well, that's where that is for me. It might be over here for somebody else, but there are questions that are related to surviving. Like, what do I think about that? What do I know about that? What do I want to say about that? What does this have to do with me? What do you need from me? What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? That's what men are often... Is there a point? Are we getting to a point? They'll even interrupt and say that. Is there a point here? You can tell how people are listening by what they interrupt with. Well, what I know about that is, so most of the time you were talking, all they were wondering was, what do I know about that? What do I want to know about that? They didn't hear most of what you said. You just instigated a conversation. You provoked a conversation with themselves. So when you ask a question of a man, if you are not paying attention, you'll have is that true with me? For me, do I agree with that? What do I think about that? So what you'll glean from his answer may be a fraction of the wealth that's within it. If you're not, we call it listening to learn. And what do you want to learn about them? Are you listening with what matters to him? Treasure hunt. Oh my gosh. What's important to him? What does he care about? Those are 3 different ways to get to the heart of what causes a man to do what he does.
Wait for it.
I'm disrespecting my husband because I'm friends with a man.
But I think though, it's not that you're friends with a man. The point is you're not listening to him. Like again, love to men is respect. It's saying, you know what, I might not agree with this, but I respect your judgment, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to do what you say. But like men don't want an argumentative woman.
It's not my fault if you are a single mom who had a baby with a deadbeat. Most men who are interested in a woman with kids and a deadbeat baby daddy already understand what they're getting into. So they are already pretty understanding. And if you're a single mom who chooses to get back in the dating world, it's your obligation to make the time since you chose to get back out there. Y'all should be more appreciative of the men without kids who take on the responsibility of another man's kids. The men who aren't understanding wouldn't even look the way of a single mother.
But what we can't allow is for the loudest guy in the room or the loudest guy in the comments to create the narrative for all men and how all men feel about you. What I've also seen in these comments are so many single women, and they believe that that is how we feel about you. But the reality is that we see you, we just don't want that trauma spilling over into a new relationship with you as we try to just take you out to dinner. We don't want this narrative to be carried in to our courtship. The right guy that's willing to lead you and that is going to make plans for you, he needs to make sure that you are emotionally available to him and you're going to give him a clean slate. So I have to say, don't allow the loudest guy in the comments and the loudest guy in the room to create a distraction away from what you deserve in obtaining everything that you're worthy to get.
And girls are so annoyed by the fact that guys don't come up to them, that like exactly what you guys are saying. They're like, it's so annoying. What's happened with the culture where like guys don't walk up to you and say something?
But would it be different if a girl kept smiling at you and you're like, oh, okay, like you could tell she's interested?
Yeah, if I felt like I had it, if I had it in, then, you know, maybe you'd be more confident going up and speaking to him.
Yeah, like if I made eye contact a few times and I can see there's a vibe there, then it's like, okay. But if I can't establish there's a little something beforehand, it's like, it's a little...
Yeah, because I think that's when the girls get more pissed, because they're like, we were making eye contact all night at a bar, and then you just like never came over, and then we left.
That's fair. That's fair.
Everybody wanted to know where the good men are, but let me just explain to you what's stopping these good men from getting with you. This idea that a man should come along and take you as you are. He should accept you for who you are, how you feel, how you think, what you do, and he shouldn't question that. He should embrace it, right? That's what you want. But that man wasn't good enough to be with you, to get with you, until he did all the work. He had to become this amazing provider, which means he needed to put in extra work and effort towards his career, maybe his education. Maybe he had to really put in the work for a grind, whatever he was doing. But until he can provide a lavish lifestyle, you didn't think he was worth much of anything. You want to make sure that you have a man who's making solid, sound decisions. You want him to stay far away from all these girls in these streets where he can get somebody pregnant and have all these children out of wedlock, because you want to be the woman who comes along for this perfect man, right? But you don't want to do any work. Do you know why your grandmothers back in the day were able to get these men when they were young? That's because they spent their entire life being raised and taught how to be a good woman, how to make sound decisions, what men cared about. See, we frown upon that now. You call it misogynistic. But no matter what name you put on these things, it's not going to change that you can't control what a man is going to find attractive and what a man is going to pursue. You just can't. So you have two choices. Get on board and start putting in the work now, or be okay being single. The choice is always yours.
I think there are a lot of, I will say, I represent a lot of very high net worth men, and I represent a lot of women who are married to or marrying high net worth men. I have seen a trend lately in high net worth men. When you ask them about what they offer for first dates, they often don't flex their wealth on first dates. Does this person, like Conor McGregor said, don't eat with people you wouldn't starve with, and I think that there is value in saying, look, if IHOP isn't good enough for you, I wouldn't take you, little Bernadette. Like, I wouldn't take you to the French Laundry if you wouldn't go to Chipotle with me, because you're going to eat at Chipotle a lot more than you eat at the French Laundry.
The standards are too dang high.
This is like
That's exactly what the problem is. Standards are too high. And if you keep your standards this high, you're never going to find someone that you like. You're going to be 35 years old, and guess what?
No, man, not 35. Anything but 35. Man, there is nothing I love more than watching a man crash out in his rejection spiral and openly admit that he's not good enough to reach women's standards and then has to beg them to lower them to give him a shot. All jokes aside, I want you to go and watch that video in its entirety and listen very closely to what that man says. Because that's what I mean when I say that the male loneliness epidemic is simply a term that these sorts of males have made up and weaponized to deflect accountability from their inability to evolve with the times. As always, make sure you like, repost, and follow along for more updates. But these men aren't falling behind like they want you to believe. They are standing still, and everyone else in society is growing, developing, and moving on without them. I mean, literally listen to what that man says. We're living in 2025, and his mindset's still in like the 1950s. He's like, whoa, when you're 35 and you don't have a man, what? She'll be happy, she'll have a good job, possibly her own home, lots of friends, she'll be fine. She doesn't need a man because 35-year-old women don't have to rely on men anymore to survive. In fact, quite the opposite. Single women who are in their 30s, 40s, etc. are now polling as happier than they ever have been historically. And you can literally hear it in that man's voice. They are panicked about it. He was literally begging her to lower her standards and stop being so happy to accommodate for his laziness so he could have a shot. That's genuinely so embarrassing. These men will literally do anything besides just become decent people.
I'm tired. I'm tired of being told I'm a great man but being treated like I ain't one. Tired of being told I'm everything she wants in a man only to find out she's been searching for more in another one. I'm tired, like emotionally exhausted. Like I sleep on myself while not being able to sleep myself. I'm tired. I'm tired like the only break I catch is with my heart. And the only peace I get is me and a bunch of them on the corner, puzzled, trying to put myself together after I put it all together because the lies still give you the truth. I'm tired.
The lies give you the truth.
So where are the men? Where do y'all hang out?
Let me rephrase that question and be a little bit more specific. Where are all the good men? I'm talking about men who aren't intimidated by independent women, men who respect women with high standards instead of calling them too picky. men who are emotionally mature, that they know how to communicate and not play any games. And also men who are actually looking for a real connection instead of a situationship or just attention. I'm a pretty normal person. I'm kind. I do fun activities. I'm pretty social. I recently just joined a pickleball club. I actually met someone who's totally my type, but he is taken. He's not available in the market. So I'm kind of convinced that all the good men are taken in long-term relationships or married. I'm also convinced all the good men are not on dating apps because they could just get into a relationship super easily in real life. Why would they be on the apps? So if you're one of the men with the qualities that I'm looking for, please let me know where I can meet y'all in the comments. Thank you.
This is why men ignore women's signals. Because at some point in a man's life, he's picked up on signals that have been coming from a woman, and then he's acted on those signals, asking her out or whatever, and then he gets hit with the, oh no, I was just being nice. I'm not interested, I was just being nice. I'm just a nice person like that. That's just like who I am. Like, I'm just a nice person. Okay, but I thought those were signals. Because, you know, other girls, when they're being nice, they don't do all of that. In fact, when other girls do that, usually it's because they're interested, and I've acted on that, and now I look like an idiot. So now, anytime I think that a woman's giving me signals, I just ignore it. Because I don't want to go through that experience again. That was so embarrassing. Until a girl literally sits on my face. I'm not... Sorry, I don't know why I use that as things. That's what she does. I'm still like, maybe she's just being nice. I don't know where that came from. I'm so sorry. But, like, it is true. I need a girl to really, like, grab my face and be like, I like you. I do see the signals. I just ignore them. I'm just like, She is acting differently from the other women, but it could be she's just friendly. She's just nice. I'm just a nice person. I'm just a good person like that. Off! Other women need to call out those women. Those women are ruining it for you. Shame them out of that kind of behavior. Because now you give off signals and then men are ignoring you and like, oh, he's not interested. He might be interested. He just doesn't want to be embarrassed. That's not good for the women either, is it? So, I don't know why my voice is so high. Like, I'm so animated and upset about this. It's really not that important.
No, because we're expected to provide and protect. Meanwhile, what do women bring to the table? Well, what is it that you think you should be protecting and providing specifically within the context of a relationship? We protect them and their lives, and we provide finances and a lifestyle. Historically, yes, men have provided food through dangerous means such as hunting and protected women from attacks, rampages, etc. But as society has evolved and technology advanced, especially with the creation of weaponry and alarm systems and so much more, these advancements have given women the job opportunities to provide for themselves and even protect themselves. Are you saying that men are useless? Not at all. The masculine is just as important in protecting and providing today as it always has been. You're just holding on to a very primitive meaning of it. Its meaning has evolved just as we have. What the masculine provides that women can't for themselves within the context of a relationship is that emotional containment for the feminine to thrive, and what you're protecting is her heart. That feminine essence itself that gives her the ability to offer you a warm, supportive, and nurturing space. But most women aren't feminine anymore. Well, that's because for generations, the feminine hasn't been protected. It's been controlled and suppressed. And so women have abandoned their own femininity in order to provide and protect themselves. So you're saying if I want a woman to embrace her femininity, then what I provide isn't necessarily money, but emotional containment for her to feel safe to express that femininity? Bingo.
Guys have it so easy in many ways, but especially if they date women are so stunning. They're not only stunning, but they have fantastic personalities on top of it. I can't speak for all of them, but I'm just saying, like, I look around me, surround baddies, gorgeous, pretty women, okay? With girls, you find one mediocre, attractive guy who thinks that he's the hottest man ever. They have the absolute worst personality, or they're stupid as hell. And there's really barely any options for us. Like, not that everyone's just dating off of looks, but I'm just saying, like, just basing off of appearance wise, women are just so hot. And it makes me so mad that men are out here with mediocre looks and even worse personalities, fumbling baddies. It's because they think the grass is always greener. And also, it's just like, they look around, they have so many beautiful flowers to pick from. Meanwhile, us girls have like nothing. We have nothing. We have nothing to go off of. I'm sorry. That's just like the facts. Because I look around me and I'm like, wow, this girl's hot. This girl's beautiful. This is stunning. This is blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh my God, guys are so lucky that everywhere they look, beautiful, gorgeous. We look around, huh? Where did they go? Where's, at least, give me one. Where is one that could be the full package? Where?
Many women talk about high standard these days, but if we're being honest, some people it simply mean I expect a man pour into my life while I show up with little effort or growth. So you want a man who is responsible, financially stable, faithful, emotionally aware, and strong in leadership. Yet you struggle with accountability, hard conversation. You expect the man to just understand you without explaining yourself clearly. Is he a magician? Sis, that's not partnership. That is emotional laziness. You want him to provide, lead, protect, reassure you, and regulate all your emotions, all at the same time, sis. How about now? So you say you value emotional maturity, but anytime they correct you, you become defensive. You say you want peace, yet you keep choosing men who bring confusion to your life and emotional stress because calmness feel unfamiliar. Then again, you say you want a very strong man. Okay, you want a strong man, but you don't cooperate when he wants to lead. You don't want to be guided. You don't want to be corrected. You want authority without alignment. That's not high standard though. That's entitlement. See, real standard is not about what you list on paper. They are about who you are becoming in private when no one is watching. If you ask me, if you want emotional maturity, deal with your own resolved wounds. If you want consistency, stop entertaining inconsistency. If you want depth, bring the substance. If you want leadership, strong man, be a woman that makes leadership easy. Good men still exist though, but some of them will never choose you because even you are not prepared for the kind of man that you're asking for. Well, here's my big sis advice to you. Build your standards on character, not on fantasy. Because your entitlement, when it is packaged as an empowerment, is not self-confidence, so they're deceiving you. It's self-deception. So my ladies, save this so that you can come back to it or share it with a woman who has been misled.
You know, a lot of these modern women don't really understand with their bad attitude and their silly behaviors. They're training a man on what to look out for. So when he stay with you for 2 or 3 months and learn all your terrible habits, he gonna get out of that relationship. And the next relationship, modern women be asking, oh, well, why is it that I always have to train the men and the next person that they come across, they get married to? Because sometimes you're so terrible that he says, okay, I know what I don't want. And he comes out of that relationship with more clarity and he fool around and find a woman that's for him just based off the fact that you were so bad.